Yo. Come on.
Yeah. I like them 7 Tallahassee coming through. I like to think that good old 640, baby. They always got that perfect attendance.
All right, folks. We back in the lab, back in the studio. I'm Rob. He's Rick. This is the Captain's Law podcast and YouTube show. What's up, my man?
What's going on, Brody?
Good, man. Special guest on here.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dennis Rawls Jr. What's going on, good sir?
What's happening, fellas? What's up with y'all?
Good, man. Absolutely ecstatic to have you on here, man.
Man, it's a pleasure to be on here.
Mr. Rawls, owner of Upscale Tonsorial. Did I say that right?
Tonsorial, that's right.
Tonsorial Parlor and owner of B&E Company. Is that it's barbecue?
Barbecue everything.
Barbecue everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Barber and grill master. Where do you find the time?
Every day. 7 days a week, man. I'm working. I'm doing something with one of these businesses while intertwining with family. That's what I do. I'm sure, everybody out here is trying to keep their head above water, keep the mortgage paid, and, make the wife and the kids happy. Fortunately, I'm in 2 different professions where I love what I do. I have my ups and downs with them, but, both of my professions bring me peace to a certain degree. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So Rick brought you in, man. He said you was a good guy, man.
Shout out to Rick. That's
Yeah. That's my fur brother-in-law, if that's a thing. The only reason why I say he's my fur brother-in-law or my fur brother is because my dog and his dog are brothers. So
correct.
Sweet.
Connie Corsos.
Connie Corsos. Shout out to Tim McNeil of Queen City Connie Corsos.
Connie Corso. Yeah.
If you're looking for a good dog, an excellent dog, go ahead and shout him out.
Yes,
go ahead and check him out.
They're pretty sweet. So I live around the corner from your barbershop. What's crazy is I just came from the CVS about 2 days ago, and I actually rolled by there. I was like, I didn't know it was a barbershop right here.
Are you serious?
I live the next street over. I looked. It was like a middle of the week, so it wasn't popping like that. I mean, somebody was in there cutting, but it was like 2 or 3 people in there chilling.
Right.
And I said, all right, if my barber ever, if he ever slip, at least I know I ain't got to drive far. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hey man, well, praise be to God. We've been open for 8 years.
That's what's up.
This October 2022, it'll be 9 years. So we've definitely been doing a lot of stuff. I would say in the community, we've done free haircuts for all the elementary schools around Benjamin Tasker, Samuel Ogle.
That's what's up.
Bowie High School and Bowie State. Last summer in 2021, we were one of the official sponsors of Bowie Day that was done in Old Bowie. I'm real big on trying to get the name out there. Now I know we can't reach everybody. It's a shame that I wasn't able to even reach you, with you living in the neighborhood, I could say. But I hear that a lot. You know what I mean? There's times I go to 7-Eleven, get me a cold water or a cup of coffee, and people are like, "That's a barbershop up there," and I'm like, "Yeah, we've been here for some years, and I've done bulk mail listings, so you probably threw yours in the trash, Rob. You know what I mean?"
Hey, look, I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I go through that mail quick, and I be like, if I ain't signed up for it, they be going in the trash, man.
I ain't mad at you,
But yeah, we just moved around here, but it'll be 2 years in March. So
Okay.
my barber who cuts kind of down the street in the same shopping center as the Giant off 450.
Okay.
He was actually cutting in what's that new style over there in N2 style, whatever it's called. Right there on 450 where the Home Depot and all that is.
Yeah, that's in style barbershop.
Yeah, he was cutting.
I know that owner as well.
Yeah, he was cutting in there first, and then he left and went to one of the little suites over there in that building behind the BP gas station. and then they moved into the little salon plaza next to the Giant,
Okay.
across from the Giant. So he been cutting my hair about 8 years. Shout out to Groom Theory.
Okay.
Yeah. But let's get into it, man. Tell us, man, what compelled you to want to be a barber / grill master?
I'll start off with the barbering. Man, I used to have a lawn company when I was a kid, and using a weed eater is an art. You know what I mean? I'm sure y'all ever seen anybody get that joint upside down and they, you know what I'm saying, they do the edging and the trimming and all of that. Using a weed eater is an art. Cutting the grass. I know me and my friends used to have lawn wars, trying to cut checkers in the grass, make it look like baseball fields and stuff, and come back to school on Monday, see how many yards we were able to cut over the weekend. I used to draw a lot. So it just, art, competitiveness is something that's always been a part of me. You know what I mean? And so with the art, I when I say I used to draw and everything, I just felt like it was something else I wanted to get into. I knew I couldn't be no Picasso or nothing like that. Wasn't never good with paintbrushes and free art like that. So it got to a point where I started picking up clippers. I would say I'd be out and I just started visioning different hairstyles, different haircuts and things like that. So I would come home and practice on myself. And I remember, man, I was in elementary school. I messed myself up real bad. Very
I think everybody has that story where they fuck themselves up.
I used to ask my father for some clippers. I'd be like, man, if you buy me some clippers, he was like, what you need clippers for? We can go to the barbershop. So I took a razor and I tried to shape myself up. I'm bald-headed now. I tried to shape myself up and I took all this off, like the whole front, everything. And my father was like, you just not going to stop this barbering stuff, are you? And, I grew up in Landover, so.
Landover.
So my barber was pretty cool. I used to go to Champs Barbershop back in the day over by the Shoppers off MLK. And I told him when I was probably like 11 or 12, like, man, I want to cut hair. And he was like, all right, well, holler at me after high school, see if you're still interested. And so throughout high school, I started cutting my friends, started cutting my brothers. I remember I messed up my best friend 9th grade year. It was first week. We had a football game that week, and I messed him up. I was like, man, let me cut your hair. I went too low on it, and he was damn near bald. Man, I call his mother my mother, man. My play mother, she cursed me out. His father, she said, you better not ever pick up no clippers again. You done messed my baby's head up. And his father was just like, you was dumb enough to let him do it. I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Pops.
He was like, hey, it'll grow back. And the whole while home, his father just frying him. You know what I'm saying? So, but that right there started me to cutting hair. Like, to be able to take that much criticism, get fried like that, and know I messed up and still want to get back to it. And, like all the barbers around my way, them jokers had money growing up. You know what I mean? Or at least at the time, money I thought was money. They had they had like cars, they had the rims. They was, I would say that I was intrigued with a lot of the things that a child probably shouldn't be intrigued with. The liquor, the girls, and shooting dice and stuff like that. I was exposed to that growing up. So I was like, oh, this is tight. You know what I mean? These jokers, they having a good time. I want to be able to make my own schedule, be my own boss. Have money to get Jordans whenever I want. But, fast forward to today, I still love my craft, but, it's more to life than that. There's definitely a lot more to life than that. So, and if you want to know about the barbecue thing, when I was in college, I was a part of the DC Met Club, which is called the DC Metropolitan Club. So what they do is from Morehouse, Spillman, and Clark, and they would just get everybody together. Like, hey, they'll do a bunch of mixers or olive branches and be like, hey, this is everybody from y'all hometown. We're going to have a big cookout. Next thing I know, we doing a meet and greet, and I see a cat that I had met when I first got to school. Just joking, say, hey, I'll be right back. Pass me some damn tongs, and nigga never came.
You threw them shits in your hand.
You know what I'm saying? He threw me some tongs, and he never came back. And I'm like, all right. Here we go. So I'm over there, John, cooking ribs, pork chops, and steaks, and burgers, and hot dogs, and everybody was like, "Hey man, that joint was good. What'd you do to it?" I'm over there trying to whip this up, whip that up, make little sauces, and then like, man, it was good. So from that's how that started with me. It seemed like every time there was a function, people were asking that, "Hey, you want to grill? You want to grill?" It didn't matter whether it was fall semester, spring semester. I was on the grill. When I came home, I started throwing cookouts with my friends. I was on the grill. Started watching pit masters. I was like, you know what? One day I want to enter into competitions. I went to one competition, didn't even place, got so discouraged, never been back. So then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have to stick with just cooking and see, if I can find a group of people that like my ribs, like my chicken and things like that. And from that, I was like, well, I'm out here supporting this company, that company, buying their sauces, buying their rubs. I need to create my own. Never really thought about really turning it into a business. So once again, I'm in the kitchen. I'm mixing this, mixing that, get a nice flavor. And I'm giving out my barbecue sauce with all the meals. And people are like, hey, that's pretty good. You got it for sale? So went to Walmart, bought some mason jars, and came home, made some barbecue sauce, started giving it to people. Next thing I know, I'm selling barbecue sauce on my truck. And it wasn't even for no money, to be quite honest with you. A lot of times I really gave it away. But then it got to a point I was like, a lot of people keep asking about this. I'm going to get it bottled, get it labeled, and see about getting it in stores. And eventually, that's what I did. Got that together, put that in stores, and after that, came up with my own dry rub seasoning, and bottled that, got this together, and got that in stores, and here you go. Now I run two businesses on a daily basis.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. What college was that?
Morehouse College.
Okay. Shout out to Morehouse. That's what's up, man.
Yes, sir. What stores are your sauces and your rub in?
I am in Giant, only Giant right now. I am in 69 Giants in the area, the metropolitan area. I've also just been put in West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Delaware.
That's what's up. Hey, shout out to you, bro. And I've had the seasoning and I had the barbecue sauce, and it is fire.
It's busting.
It's busting.
I
use it, but I've used as soon as he gave it to me, because we exchanged. I gave him some of that Lovey's mumbo sauce.
Shout to Lovey's.
Oh yeah, I'm out of that, by the way.
Hey, look, hey, we all out.
It's coming. I got bottles coming.
I've been waiting on this shit about 6 months.
It's distributors, but it's coming. So anyway, but it's official, bro. It's official.
Okay.
It's some definitely good stuff. I do have a little bit left, and I'm saving that for, because I did it on ribs and salmon. But I'm gonna do chicken, and I want to do a pork butt with it.
Okay.
We're a barbecue house, nigga. We use barbecue sauce on everything. Like anything you would use ketchup on is barbecue sauce. So
you see, you the type of customers I want. Period.
French fries. I'll be like, nah.
There you go.
BBQ sauce. We don't want no ketchup. Shit.
There you go. I'll be walking into people trying to introduce them to my sauce. I don't use barbecue sauce. So I'll fuck get out the way then.
Yeah.
This for people who want it. Damn it.
That's what's up.
So, is it so being a bar? Is this something that you always wanted? Well, I know you went into it, the barber thing, but as far as the grill master side, do you think there's something that you pictured yourself doing as a child, or you just think, like you said earlier, it just fell in your lap, you just ran with it?
It fell in my lap. It was out of nowhere. And another thing that kind of got me onto that was I used to club promote when I was in college. One of the guys I was working for, he went to Clark. He was from Houston. This joker at the let out, he would pull his pickup up, and he had a grill on the back of it. You know what I mean? And he was cranking ribs and chicken at the club. You know what I mean? After the let out. And not only was he just making money off of the door and a percentage of the bar, he breaking me off my little money for being on his street team, passing out flyers, but he out there, he got another dude running his grill. And I remember one night, I'm going out there to get some chicken. Dope boy walk up, and he was like, hey man, it's a long ass line. He walked in front of everybody. He was like, hey man, I give you $700 for everything right now, and then make these niggas buy from me. I was like, God damn, man, you can have that. I'm about to go to IHOP. All right, so, but to see something like that, I was like, man, this is an idea.
Yeah.
When I came back home, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy me a grill when I get back up top. I'm gonna buy me a grill. I'm gonna try to hit the let outs. So when I moved back home, it was still, I think it was it Love still then in 09? Was it Love or had it turned to Dream by that time?
It was I think it was Love. Love was the last one before they changed.
Love was the last one before it changed.
Yeah, so I went down there with my grill one night, probably around 1:30, so I could set up. Man, MPD ran me out of there so fast. Dude that had the little hot dog chili guard called the police on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he had to get you up out of there. You was his competition.
I was kind of pissed because I just spent like, food was way cheaper than that then. Food was way cheaper. Like you can get a case of ribs back then for like $75. You know what I mean? I bought me a case of ribs and I just wanted to do that, and I had some wings. Man, I 75 for that case, and then probably about 40 for the case of the chicken. I ain't get to sell none of my food. You know what I mean? I was out of some money, so I was pissed. So then I tried to, look into the laws and everything, and it just wasn't possible. So I was like, all right, well, I didn't spend this money on this grill. I need to make my money back. So I was already a barber. I said, you know what? When I'm cutting, I can't get off my feet and go get something to eat, all the time. So I'm gonna take the food to them. So what I did was I started going to different barbershops, hair salons, nail salons, with my grill on the back of my truck. I walk in the door. Hey, good evening, everybody. Fresh barbecue, ribs, chicken, just like that. Next thing you know, people are like, what's the price? Man, come on outside, come check me out. And people will come outside. Next thing you know, I developed relationships with people. From that, I would give my people my name and number. I didn't even have any business cards. People would call me and they say, hey, I got a daughter that goes to Riverdale. We want to throw a graduation cookout. Can you do that? Sure. Next one, I got a son graduating from DeMatha. Can you do a graduation cookout? Sure. We having a small repast. We lost a family member. Can you cook for that? Sure. You know what I mean? So every summer since 2009, I've been jumping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's sweet.
Hey, that's exactly how I got into catering too. Like I shit you not. So the same thing similar happened to me. I cooked for a couple people, right? And they was like, damn, that was really, really, really good. So then they was just like, hey, I need you to cook for this. So I need you to do. That's when I was doing catering. Like I had a commercial kitchen and the whole nine. But since now I'm doing, the personal and the private stuff is all small scale. But I did the same thing. I had barbershops that I was going to. I was doing lunch for them the whole night. That's what's up. That's dope.
And that's how it started, man. That's definitely how it started. And from there, I won't lie to you. I still haven't got bougie with it. Like I'm still, a person can call me and say, hey, I mean, I do got I won't go lower than 2 slabs. Like I'm not about to fire up my grill for nothing less than 2 slabs.
Yeah.
Because I got a small enough grill where I can throw it on there. I'm not using a lot of charcoal. And that's one of the reasons I like to cook, because I can throw barbecue on there and let it roll. I ain't got to sit there and monitor it. And after a while, you've been doing it for so long, you know a lot of tricks and the trades of what it is you're doing.
Right. That's what's up. So next question I have for you. What do you wish your younger self knew about your current professions now?
For barbering, I wish I knew that it was as competitive as it is. And I also wish that I just knew more. You know what I mean? I wish I was in a position where I could continuously. I wish I would have went to school more than anything. Like I would have really told myself, go to a white school, learn how to cut straight hair, because cutting black hair is pretty easy, but your money really comes in with straight hair. The average white client is paying 50, 60 or more a service. Whereas I'm not at this point in my career of barbering no more, but I see it in my shop with younger barbers and even established barbers, like where people are still trying to negotiate the price of having to pay for a cut at $20 versus me having a $36 price for my entire shop. You'll get a lot of people that come in. So I wish I would have knew more knowledge. You know what I mean? And
right,
that's just as the barber. But on the business side, I wish sometimes I would have went a different route, to be quite honest with you. You know what I mean? And I wish that owners would have told me not to get into it. Let me just be honest. Like, I love my craft. I love it. You know what I mean? I love cutting hair, but I have dreams and ambitions. And as of today, as a 35-year-old man, barbering is not going to get me where I want to get to. It's not going to allow me to retire the way I want to. And shop ownership is a lot more difficult than I thought. Being a barber owner is like being in a frat. You know,
I can see that.
And being a barber, you're a nobody unless you're that somebody in your shop. You know what I mean? It's very difficult. So if my younger self could have told me something about it, I would have tried. I definitely would have went to school, and that's just for being a barber, because you can make a lot of money as a barber. But when it comes to ownership, that's something that's kind of totally different. You know, this profession is forever changing. It's still changing, and you know, it's getting tougher. You know what I mean? Especially with us still recouping / still going through COVID.
That most definitely.
Yeah. You know, you're not the only person who I've heard that is a barber. My main barber is a good friend of mine, and one of my buddies from when I was in the military, he cuts hair. And they both said, they'd be like, yeah, this is, this ain't gonna be forever. Like, I just remember growing up, and like the barbers was like old, like they had been cutting hair like 25, 30 years. And I mean, it seemed like shit was sweet. It seemed like now, you see a lot of barbers come in, maybe our age, and then after that, at that point they've been doing it maybe 10, 15 years. They kind of looking for another move, or they looking to own some shit. So it's funny that you said that, because again, to go to my folks, they left and started their own joint, like just a little salon plaza, just a booth. It's just them two. But even still, my barber be like, always thinking about doing something else, and I just be like, damn, bro, you look like you're cashing out to me. But I get in that aspect of like, I'll be in the shop. Your Fridays, your Saturdays, your Thursdays, them y'all late days. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, unless things have changed, you really only get to enjoy yourself in the middle of the week, where it's slower. But me, I come in Friday Eve, I'm trying to get that cut, and then you got 10 people after me, and it's 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. You know what I mean? So you gotta make that money. I get what you're saying though.
And barbers we're the least respected. You know what I mean? People don't care about our time. People don't care about our livelihood. You'll see in this profession how selfish people are. You'll be like, cancel all your appointments for the day. Hey, I'm not feeling well. Hey, so when you think you're gonna be back at the shop? Nigga, I'm sick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
facts.
I'm not worried about getting no money right now. I'm trying to make sure I'm good. People are very selfish. You know what I mean? You'll really realize how selfish people are. When can I come in? I need a cut. I need a cut. Oh, I'm going out of town. Can you squeeze me in? Can you do this? Hey, well, I tell you what, call this client, tell them I pay for their cut too, so I can get their spot.
Yeah. Hey, I had somebody do that to me, and I was like, he was like, hey, the band before you, he said he'd pay for your cut if you can go first. I was like, he paying for my son cut too? And he was like, well, nah, he can do it. I was like, well, he can wait his ass in the car. And then he come in, he let him in while he's sitting in the chair. And I was like, then he said, like, had a little attitude. I'm like, nigga, how you mad because you want cut in front of me? You know what I'm saying? Barbershop that shit do be
barbershop
terrible.
Culture is something different, boy.
So let me tell you my thing. So let me tell you a thing. So I try to be a good patron. You know what I'm saying? I try my best. I try to book my haircut at least a week in advance. To me, 2 weeks is pushing, and shit can happen, and then you mess around and forget. So I'll use a little app. Hey, can you get me in this time? Me and my son here. I usually try to go a little bit after, my son get home from school. Just try to get in. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it be the customers sometimes, man. I think we don't really take account of that. Like for a long time, my barber used to like, I pull up, I'll be like, I'm outside. So it's COVID. So it's like, unless you getting a haircut, you ain't coming in.
Right.
So, I sit in my truck and wait. Haircut appointment is at 5 or 6. It's at 6. So 5:45, I'm in the parking lot. Like 5:55, I hit him like, hey, I'm outside, Holmes. He'd be like, give me like 7 minutes. 7 minutes really mean like 20 minutes, bro. You know what I'm saying? But then he broke it down to me. Well, then he changed this thing where he started enforcing cancellation fees. So it's like, look, this is how much the haircuts are. You know what I'm saying? The price is whatever. You know what I'm saying? The price is different for me because I've been cutting my hair for like 8 years. And if you can't make it and you don't call within a certain time, it's like half of it. It's like a half cancellation fee. So then I asked, and I was like, damn, bro, I feel like I'm just like suffering. So then he was like, look, he's like, every time you gotta wait in the car is because 2 or 3 niggas coming late and one person canceling, and I gotta squeeze in. He was like, so now to smooth things out, this is where I'm going. He was like, you just keep doing what you're doing. This really doesn't pertain to you. So I said,
I think one or two motherfuckers can fuck your whole schedule.
The whole schedule. So I can respect that.
Yeah, definitely. And it goes like that. It's crazy because I got a couple clients. They'll come into the shop and they'll be like, say they got a 3 o'clock appointment, and they get there at 2:15. They just want to kick it. I still keep my shop open. I make sure that people are socially distanced, but I like that shop atmosphere. You know what I mean? I like the people coming in talking trash, talking about the game. We offer liquor at my shop. We sell cigars at my shop. So I like that vibe. You know what I mean? We all laughing, joking, and everybody's in there together. So I had a client of mine come early. Like I said, his appointment was at 3, so he wanted to show up at like 2:15. I was cutting somebody at the time, and they were supposed to get out of the chair by 2:30, but my 2:30 didn't get there till 2:42. So I'm sitting there telling my client, I'm like, see, you always think it's me. You think I'm playing around, or you think I'm cutting slow. I said, you saw the client that was here when you got here. He got out of the chair at 2:32. That put me 2 minutes behind. So what? Who's tripping? I said, but the next one supposed to be getting in the chair at 2:32, right?
Right.
I said, he not showing up to 2:42. I said, so now I'm not going to be finished with him until got that going 3:12.
Yep.
Did you get what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
And he was like, I never looked at it like that, man. He was like, I just thought you was in here bull driving. I said, nah, man. One person.
It's always people who don't know about the profession though that gives you the most judgment and criticism.
Definitely.
Honestly, man, my best piece of advice for that inconsiderate SOB that might be watching, you need to schedule your haircut when you ain't got nothing to do.
Right.
Schedule your appointment as if you may just have 2 hours or 3 hours where you don't have nothing to do. Like, don't schedule it like I got to be here at 5 and I got to make dinner at 6. No, bro.
Yeah,
dinner gonna be cold.
People, I'm like, hey, don't book me around your plans. Because anything can happen. You know what I mean? Anything can happen.
All right, that's what's up. All right, so tell me about 3 influential people in your life and how they impacted you with all your career decisions and professions that you have.
My father. I get my work ethic from my father. Okay. He's definitely impacted me. I'm a junior. That's my senior.
Shout out to Pops. Good man. Met him.
Oh, yeah. We was in the garage with Pops smoking a stogie. Yep.
Shout out to Pops.
Man, my father, he taught me how to work, man, and he taught me how to humble myself. I love that man with all my heart, and I'm like, that right there is who he taught me how to work, real talk. So my father, number 1. Number 2, I would say Jordan, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Always a Wizards fan. I'm born and raised a Bullets fan. But Michael Jordan was just that competitive. Like, I loved Jordan growing up as a fan. I watched him play. I really remember the 92, 93 championship. I remember the 95, 96 championships and that competitive edge. Like, so it was kind of like me. I grew up playing sports, played basketball and football my whole life. So always wanted to be competitive, you know, always want to play at a high level.
That's what's up.
And shout out to him, you know, Jordan, for that, because I mean, everybody wanted to be like Mike growing up. At least I did. You know, I didn't grow up a Kobe fan because I felt he tried to take Jordan's spot while Jordan was still that guy. You know what I mean? And then after MJ left the league, I was like, then you got LeBron coming in. So I was a LeBron fan because I was like, Kobe trying to be too much like MJ. And there's only one MJ. You know what I mean? So, and then the third person, I'd have to say AI. AI, man, you know, Chuck, like short but gritty. You know what I mean? Always in the mix. Had heart. Dude had a heart of a lion. You know what I mean? No matter anytime he stepped on the court, you knew he meant business. You know what I mean? There's not a person that played with or against him that couldn't tell you he wasn't a dog. So it's like any and everything I try to do. You know, I try to have my work mentality, which I get from my father, which means, you know, just work, 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 work. Number two, that competitive nature, you know what I mean, to try to make yourself known. And number three, try to have a heart like a lion, like AI, you know what I mean? So
that's what's up.
If I could add a fourth, I'd have to say Shaq, man.
Hey, Shaq is my man, dog.
A lot of people don't know how many hands Shaq has. How many graphs he has on. Like Shaq has a lot of shit, especially when it comes to business, like owning businesses and shit like that. Papa John's, I think he has like Kohl's and like a whole bunch of other shit. Like a lot of people.
Yeah,
he's just a good person too, man. He's just a good person.
Really, yes.
Like I like you see them videos of him.
Genuine person.
You see them videos of him. He be like buying kids shit and all that. I don't be thinking he be doing it for the clout. I just think that's just who he is. You know what I'm saying?
It's him, man. Do y'all watch Shaq Life?
Well, I watched a little bit of it. I think I caught an episode when his son was wrapping up one of his high school games, and he said if he dropped 25, he give him like $5,000 or something like that. That's the last one I saw.
Yeah, man. You know, Shaq is a beast, man. I actually, I have a business coach. I also got a therapist too. And
shout out to therapy.
And I can't remember which one it is. I know it's been a bunch of people, but a lot of people tell me I got too much going on. You know what I mean? As far as running the barbershop and, you know, owning the barbecue business and working 7 days a week. And I said, man, y'all don't tell Shaq that. Now I said, no, granted, he got way more money than me, but y'all ain't telling this man not to be a sheriff, which he is. Y'all ain't telling this man not to work on TNT. Y'all ain't telling him not to be on the board member of the Papa John's. Y'all ain't telling him not to, you know what I mean, invest in Walmart, because, you know, he still got the shoes in Walmart and stuff like this.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if that black man can run 4 or 5 businesses and wear 6, 7 different hats, why can't that be the same? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like everything comes down to a balance. You know what I mean? Everything comes down to a balance.
I like it, bro. So so tell me, man, what's something about your industry that surprised you lately?
Which one? Barbering?
Either one.
Either one or both.
What has surprised me about barbering?
The biggest surprise.
It's not the same. And I don't know if it's our area. I just don't see it going back to where it used to be. I don't think the shop atmospheres or shops will be the same no more because of COVID. So many people want to be by themselves.
Yeah.
Because of egos, owner egos, barber egos. So many people don't want to work in shops because of safety reasons with COVID. People want their own studio suites. I think it's going to forever be like that. I really do.
So we were having, I don't mean to cut you off, but we were having a conversation about this last episode about barbershop culture specifically. And do we think it's changed? We both agree that it has changed, but we don't know how much it's changed. And you're giving us an insight right now on how difficult it is right now being in a barbershop. Because as kids, we look forward to going to the barbershop.
Yeah.
Just especially as younger. You know what I mean? We look forward to go to the barbershop to listen to the conversations. Yeah. Or even as we got older and we were young men and like in our 20s and stuff, we look forward to go to the barbershop to get them pair of socks, to see whatever DVD CDs that they selling, or oils or incense or air freshener, car stuff. You had that one dude that was working on everybody's car and all he had was some duct tape, a fucking butter knife, and a lemon. Like,
hey, we
that
still got that
shit's
at
not.
UTP, man. Shout out UTP. We still got all that. Come on
All
through,
right,
man.
bet.
All right, they still there. But you know that the piggyback off that, man. My barber told me, he said, because I asked him too. I said, bro, like, y'all feel like y'all recouped? And he said, hell no. He said, bro, he said, I used to have niggas come in here every week getting the full shebang, getting everything, getting the hot towel, you know what I'm saying? Getting the whole joint tightened up. And now, because they stuck home, they teleworking and all that, now they done gone on YouTube and start figuring shit out on their own. So he was like, now some of these people who was regulars just come in when, maybe the shit they got out of hand, or it's just a special ceremony. So he was like, definitely. Like, I remember when this was what, 2020 in the summer, my barber was cutting my hair on my deck, and he was cutting my hair in my garage because the shop was shut down. And then with these variants and all that, man. I mean, honestly, I'm happy. I'm happy that your shit is open and you can still kind of operate. You know what I'm saying, with a sense of normalcy, bro. But I think it'd be a while, man, before people just really, really pulling up, crowd up in the shop. Just doing what men do. You know what I'm saying? I tell my son, I said, I can't wait till you're old enough to go on your own or by yourself. So he can go and get that journey. Like, I was going to when I was
it's
young,
like a rite of passage for a young man.
I mean, I grew up in Montgomery County, so it's like, and it's just me and mom. So she just give me the little money I need, and I would walk to the barbershop and do my thing and go find my barber, who was going to be that guy that was going to cut my hair all through high school. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That was an achievement in life.
Hell
to have one barber that you always went
You ain't want to be flip-flopping.
Right.
You don't want to flip-flop, dog.
Hell no.
Most definitely.
That's crazy.
That's good, though, man.
But as far as with the barbecue industry, something that has surprised me lately is how difficult it is to make business relationships in this county, which kind of makes me.
Do you think it's just this county, or would you say period?
Do you think it's just people?
I don't think it's people. I'm a firm believer that one hand washes the other. It's all about who you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think certain paperwork get pushed for certain people. I think certain things are allowed for certain people. I've been down so many closed roads and had to U-turn and go do something else just to survive with food,
Facts.
And then even still, like, I would say probably for a year or two, I've been looking to get into a kitchen, so a lot of them are definitely full. But then I'm sitting there looking at like, you know what? All right, well, let me just go ahead and do my own spot. Of course, it's going to cost a chunk of change, but when you realize all the stuff you got to go through, the permits and then this and then this and that, you're sitting there looking at it like, damn, by the time you finish, man, you probably about it between 70 and 100,000. Is it worth it? You know what I mean? And then, I would say other counties like Montgomery County, Anne Arundel, they allow roadside vending. You know what I mean? So Prince George's County doesn't allow that. It's really surprising to me how tight Prince George's County is, and it all has to do with money. Prime example, I stay on eBay, stay on Facebook Marketplace. One man's trash is another man's treasure. I'm always looking for like the best deal.
Facts.
So
I'm right there with you.
So I came up, and I know I'm not the only person that has come up with this, but I saw, and what I wanted to do was purchase one of those shipping cargo containers that y'all see on those big industry boats that, do a lot of our trade. Season or anything like that.
Connexes.
Yeah, I wanted to purchase one of those. On eBay, the cheapest I saw one was probably like $4,500. And I wanted to rent some land, private property from somebody in Prince George's County. I figured out that land or whatnot. And I'm glad I didn't pull the trigger on getting the trailer because I'd probably been stuck with it. Or, I mean, I would have made it work to the best of my ability. But anyway,
right.
I wanted to get the trailer, $4,500, and I wanted to turn it into a commercial kitchen for me. You know what I mean? And hell, Rick could have came through there and looked out and used it. I wanted to literally get it licensed by the county for me to be able to food prep, cook, and real talk. I was just
and all that.
I was gonna put some picnic tables up and tell people come get barbecue on the weekends. Because Monday through Friday I'm in the shop. So I take this plan down to the county, right? And the county, I ain't gonna say no names, but the county says, we're actually having a meeting about that. We've already had our first meeting about that. As far as people being able to use those type of shipping containers for living and businesses and things like that. However, we haven't passed that bill for the county to vote on it yet.
Wow.
So I would hate for you to invest in it and we don't ever pass that bill. And then on top of that, if you put all of this money into it, whoever, does your kitchen in there and sets everything up for you, it will be illegal because we can't permit it right now. We're not permitting it right now. So then we would fine you if you decide to
do it anyway.
And yeah, we just haven't got there yet. I said,
why am I not surprised?
I'm like, they doing it in Baltimore. I'm like,
everybody's doing it.
Like they're doing it in Montgomery County.
Everybody's doing it. It's a place that there's places that you can go by right now. They've been in the same spot for 5 years.
I'm like, what's wrong with Georgia County?
That's
crazy. I seen something on the news, man, where it was a temporary joint. It was a lady, Caucasian persuasion, and she had a quad con, and she made a restaurant out of it, and they dropped that joint right down in Navy Yard, right in the grass, and it was there for a couple months. I'm like,
Connex is all the move, though. I want to get one. People use them joints for everything.
I started looking at it like it's either this or it's this.
Yeah,
it's one or the other. It might be both.
Probably both.
Probably both. That was one of the biggest surprises to me in our industry, and that was as recent as 2021, maybe 2020 in the summer, because because of that, like I don't know how much more I want to do with food for real. I don't want nobody having that much grip on me and nothing I do. You feel me?
Right.
You know what I mean? To a point where they saying, hey, you can't do this, hey, you can do that. That's the reason I became an entrepreneur in the first place. You know what I mean? Take my own set of rules and work how I want to work and how I see fit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we all grown here. Like this county, it's tough, man. It's tough.
The property tax is high too.
That too.
Okay, so look, man, if you were sitting next to a leading expert in your field, either one, what would you want to ask them?
What's the exit strategy? I would ask them, what's the exit strategy?
That's different. I like that.
I didn't expect that.
I like that.
I don't care what it is you win. You get tired of doing it at some point in time. You still, they ain't saying that you don't love to do it. I'm sure it's times LeBron wake up like, damn, I don't want to go to the gym today, but I'm the king. I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, like, what's the exit strategy? Like, when you get to where it is you want to be, what's next? Because you don't want to fall back off. You want to still maintain where you are, or at least you want to retire or do something that'll keep you where you are. So, and then I would also ask them how to get through the difficulties. I don't think a lot of people prepare enough for the failures. No matter what you're doing business, you're going to have a lot of hiccups. You know what I mean? I would also ask, like, I would ask a lot of questions, and I don't ask questions. You know what I mean? If it's one thing I know now, it's not necessarily to ask questions. I want to know what it is I'm not supposed to know. Tell me that. Can you tell me what it is I'm not supposed to know? You know what I mean? Because then that would help me a lot more.
Right.
Vice versa. You thinking you know everything. Tell me what I don't know. I'll give you a prime example. In my this past summer, the air conditioner went on in my shop. We were without air for a month. And it was 3 weeks out of that month where it was 95 every day. I had 3 barbers say, I'm not coming back to work until the air is working. I'm gonna go cut at home, or I'm gonna go do house calls. I'm pissed. Shop don't make no money from them, and then I got to come out my pocket to pay for those chairs. So I call my management company. Now, in my lease agreement, so what I know is that it's my job to maintain the HVAC system. That means I got to get it serviced. That means I have to do anything like if it breaks, not like completely breaks. That means, when it needs new air filters, I got to do that. When it needs to get serviced, I need to do that. If it needs some tweaking, I got to pay for that.
Just regular maintenance.
Regular maintenance. That's on
like
me.
No big shit.
That's on me. So I had the company I was using come through and give me an estimate and let me know what's going on with it. They say, man, this building has been here since the, I would say, 80s. You got a dinosaur of a unit. We recommend you replace it. I said, all right, well, I'm going to call my management company. That ain't on me.
Right.
And I'm like, but what's the price of that, though? He said, oh, man, you're looking about $18,000, $20,000. So I said, what? I said, yeah, let me call management.
Call them right now.
So
I will write a letter.
I call management and they say, oh, well, you got to take care of that.
Wow.
That's on you. I said, hold my lease. I go get my lease. I said, my lease don't say that. And they said, well, if you also see here in parentheses, it says section 10, blah, 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 blah. They said, scroll to that. So I'm flipping pages. I look at the joint and it say that if it breaks, I got to replace the entire system. So
fine print.
The fine print, right?
Jeez.
So,
wow.
I'm like, I'm pissed, but it's like one of them type of things where I've been screwed so many times in business. I don't even really get mad no more. I'm sitting there looking at her like, you know what? It's just another one for the books, man. This is something else to know. If anybody should be mad, it can't be me because I didn't know no better. Right. I started this business when I was 25 years old. I was just worried about getting in here and opening my shop. And I've learned something every year I've gone on. And I said, but this is definitely a lesson learned. Now, of course, I'm not about to sit here and let you stick me with a $20,000 bill. So I got another opinion. I go to another opinion. They come back and they was like, yeah, man, we can replace your whole unit for 12. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, so now they talking 18, 20. They come down to 12. I'm like, either way y'all put it, I ain't got money for none of this shit. So I called management and I'm like, hey, one person said 20,000, another person said 12,000. They said, well, we're gonna send our people out there. So their people come out there and their people was like, yeah, he need a new unit. We recommend him getting a new unit. So management come back and say, well, our people say they can do it for you for 15. I said, I call, now I start hitting the streets. I'm like, man, I hit my man. He just started his own HVAC company. I call him. I'm like, man, come check this joint out for me, man. I'm like, these folks, they trying to hoodwink me, man. I ain't getting no whole new unit. I can't afford it. So he called me. He was like, listen, all right, I'm gonna tell you like this. You got an old unit, but I'm gonna rebuild the inside for you. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'll rebuild the inside for you. I'm like, man, how much is it gonna run me, man? He said, oh, $4,300. I said, run it. Run it. I got that.
Quick.
I said, do that. Run that. I said, but let me know what you're doing. He said, all right. You familiar with old schools? I was like, yeah. He said, they was 70s, 80s, He said, they don't really make the parts for them no more, but they around. He say, so but at the same time, all cars work the same. Just like all these machines work the same. He say, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a Band-Aid to your problem, which is your air compressor. And he said, your air compressor is going to be your Band-Aid. He said, I'm going to rebuild the air compressor for you, damn near from scratch, using some of the old parts, a lot of this new stuff. This way we can save your unit. And I said, how much more time is this going to give me, like, out of this unit? He say, at the least, it's going to work for another 3 to 4 years. I said, oh, bad, run it.
Good to go.
And he said, on the long term, this might not never mess up again. You just got to keep doing your daily, your routinely maintenance. I was like, all right, bet. So I call management. I say, I got it taken care of. Don't worry about it. And they say, so what do you mean you got it taken care of?
None of your fucking business.
They missing out on that fucking
extra.
I said, like I said, I got it taken care of. We got air.
Took care of you.
You know what I'm saying? We got air now. Point blank, period. Well, I hope you ain't, I said it don't matter. The air's working, and I took care of it. Yeah. So, real talk, with my lease, I'm taking that compressor with me too. Fuck them.
Stand that good shit. Hey, good shit. So, where or how do you self-educate yourself, especially with everything changing in the industry that you're involved in? Like, even for barbering, I know there's always some new clippers or some shit that comes out. Or either with cooking, there's some new way of cooking or smoking or grilling or whatever. Like, how do you self-educate yourself when it comes to that stuff?
First and foremost is prayer, asking God for guidance. Secondly is
hallelujah.
Man, I network a lot. So I'd make sure I hit barber expos. And when I'm at them barber expos, all these guys are telling you, hey, this is my Instagram page. I follow them a lot. You know what I mean? Like you said, your barber was doing the whole shebang with the hot towel, the gel, and the facial mask and all that. I would have known that if I wouldn't have went to a barber battle. You know what I mean? Because when it's a barber battle, what happens is you normally got some barber pioneers that come in and pretty much explain on a panel what it is they do, what separates them from their peers. And from there, one light bulb will go up, like, all right, I'm gonna start doing that. And the next person talk, all right, I'm gonna start doing that. So I steal a lot of information from a lot of people and I entwine it into my arsenal as far as how I can get better. And I study their moves and I implement a lot of that stuff into what it is I like to do and make it my own way.
It's the same thing with cooking, though.
It's exactly the same thing with cooking.
Exactly the same way with cooking. Is everybody's made the same shit, but you just got your own flavor to it, which separates yourself from everybody else. No, that's what's up. I agree with that, John.
So, it's more so about being on YouTube, Instagram. They're very, very influential to me and for me. That's how I self-educate. And it's that has been monumental to me. Like a lot of these barbers or shop owners I follow, they're definitely from different cities and states. But they're doing stuff we're not doing here, which is what I like. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of talented barbers out here, and it's a lot of established owners. You know what I mean? So definitely, I try to find those that are doing what I'm not doing, and I like what they're doing, and I can tell that it's working. I follow that.
Cool, man. Cool.
All right. So, what's been your most influential resource?
Well, he already answered that.
Yeah, he pretty much other than Facebook, right, and everything else. Is there any other influential source for both of your professions outside the normal?
I say the fact that whatever, like I have hobbies, so I'm often influenced by money. To be quite honest with you, I love to make money. So I'm influenced by that. Like if I see you getting money, hey, how do you do that? I'm not one of those proud type of people that's gonna sit back and hate. I want to know. You know what I mean? I would say me knowing that I want more, it influences me to make more money so that I can get what it is I want and do what it is I want to do.
That's what's up. You like the network.
I love to, man. I love to. If it's a room full of people, man, I'm gonna try to introduce myself to half of them, if not all of them.
We was rapping for like I don't know
hours
off the first time we met, and then when I went to the crib and helped him with the hog, shout out to that. Like we was in that joint rapping, and we was just bouncing shit off each other the entire time. Like, cause I call myself a grill master, right? But he definitely does it on a larger scale than I do, right? But we were just bouncing ideas and stuff off each other, and then it was like the way that I would cook pork or something that he can do to like that. So that's the type of shit I like too, like networking, because you'll never know what somebody else has or whatever gems or whatever they may have, but you gain that shit for free because there's a lot of people that's paying for it or charging for it, and you just gain it by just a general conversation. But no, I definitely feel you on that one.
That's good, man. That's good. So I'm gonna hit you with a curveball. So if you could start a business tomorrow, something different, what would it be?
Trash.
Trash.
Give
me some detail on that. Give me something.
Pandemic made me smarter. They shut my shop down. I had to cut hair in my garage for 2 months. Food was essential. I fired up my grill. I think in 2 months, I did some numbers financially, paid off some major debt because I was able to pocket a lot of shit. But one of the things I realized was they were still picking my trash up every Monday and Thursday. So one of the businesses I've been trying to get into, I would say for the last 3 or 4 years, is roll-off dumpsters.
Yes, my dad does it, bro. My dad has his own truck. Shout out to Pops, Rick Snipe. My dad has it like the roll-off business will never go away. Never go away. Somebody's always remodeling in the house. Somebody always needs those dumpsters. Somebody's always man. Yeah, you own something that one, bro.
So that's 2 industries right there. You just did residential, and you just did real estate. Let's talk construction. Let's also talk trash. You know what I mean? Like that's just roll-off dumpsters. But I have a cousin of mine who got like 4 or 5 dump trucks. He's been doing it for over 30 years. He told me not to get into it unless I got my CDL. He said you might hire this guy to drive for you, but he don't get there on time or he's sick that day. He said you need to know how to drive your own truck. You know what I mean? So what put a pause on that was I just haven't spent the $1,200 to go get my CDL yet. I haven't pulled that trigger to do it yet. But trash. I would get into trash.
That's different. I like that.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. TikTok have been making me want to go ahead and go be a truck driver out here on the weekends or something, man. That shit look like it's fun, dog.
We just started a truck company, so that's my 3rd business. We already
shout out. That's what's up. Congrats.
What are you killing,
bro?
Right Way Trucking, Right Way Trucking Services and LLC. My cousins and I, we have put our heads together. Like I said, I wanted to do the roll-off dumpsters. My younger cousin, he was like, well, I want to do the box trucking. He was like, we should get in the box trucking. There's a lot of money in it. I'm like, bro, I don't know nothing about no box trucking. He's like, man, I'm about to quit my job. They about to make me get a vaccination. He was like, I ain't trying to get no vaccination. So I'm going to get in the box truck. And then he talked to his brother, who was our other partner. And he was like, man, whatever y'all want to do, I'm with it. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm not driving. So,
I'm with it, but I ain't driving.
He was like, so I was like, man, I already got 2 businesses. I'll drive here and there. My other cousin was like, I'm driving full time, period. And he was like, I'll drive full time. I said, all right, let's do it. So right now, like I said, we just passed mental state inspection a couple weeks ago. Right now, we just got a new load board that we on, DAT load board. So I would say we were supposed to be doing I was supposed to do a load tonight, actually, after our interview. But I won't get back until too late tomorrow morning to get my son to school, so I didn't do it. But yeah, so that's my 3rd business now, trucking.
That's what's up, bro.
Boy, you killing. You kind of answered the last question, but I'm gonna ask you just because it's on here. If what occupation other than your own would you like to try? I guess you kind of answered it.
Well, no, I gotta I want to do something like where I can be on TV, like what y'all doing this podcast. It's tight, man.
Really?
I mean, I would really like to pick other people's brains. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the podcast thing has really taken over lately. Put me on somebody's news. Y'all ever notice how like even here, a lot of our newscasters ain't local. Like it ain't no more Jim Vances. It ain't no more.
They come from other states.
Jim Browns. Jim Brown went to Mindful. He from here. Jim Vance went to Curl. You know what I'm saying? Like we need more local newscasters. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't mind being a newscaster. You know what I mean?
I actually got a lot of good insight on that as far as the whole podcast thing in this area. That's actually going to tie into our last question is, do you have any questions for us?
Yes, man. What made y'all want to do this, the podcast and everything?
I'll let him start first.
All right. So originally, when I first did this, it was just me. I started this in the pandemic, 2020, June 2020. I was doing Instagrams, regular Instagram, and I work downtown, work at the Smithsonian. Okay. And take the train every day. I've been taking the train every day for like 10, 15 years and always see some wild shit on the train. Right. And every time I would get off the train, I'd, pick my phone, I'd be walking, I'd be like, captain's log. And then just be like, let me tell you about this goofy ass nigga on the train, do. Or let me tell you about this little journal shoes was leaning, do. And I was doing it. I probably did it for like 4 years and not even realizing like people was loving it. Like to the point where the podcast thing really started to say like, bro, you should start a podcast. Bro, you should start it. And I didn't know shit about nothing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know where to start, what equipment, where to broadcast it, who my audience was, what my niche was. I didn't know none of that. I just knew that, I got a gift for the gab and I'm goofy, so I can do it. And but then I kept putting it on the back burner, man, and was, looking for new jobs and shit and kept getting denied. And I was really down. My wife was like, start the fucking podcast. You need to find something to do. You know what I'm saying? Because at this time, oh yeah, absolutely. My number one fan. And at this time, I was doing the motorcycle thing, but I used to race.
For real?
Yeah, I used to race.
I got a cousin that race.
What's his name?
They call him Trini. Marcus.
Trini? That's my man.
Damn, small world.
He know me.
Trini, wild ass.
I used to ride with that nigga all the time. I just sold my bike, so I mean, I was just there last year. Yeah.
I ride a Harley, man.
I'm trying to get one, man, but that Harley money,
Hey, bro, come on out here with me, man. Come on out here with me.
I'm trying to get some. Initially, I wanted to glide and all that. I was like, man, bro, I just need a commuter, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't tripping off.
I just do some apes on my glide, man.
For real? Yeah, I'm gonna get one. But so then
Trini,
I was doing it, man, and I put the podcast out. There was a lot of support in the beginning. Them first like 15 episodes, man, I was getting 100, 200 views, downloads per joint. And then I started trying to like expand. I said, well, let me start doing YouTube. It was just audio at first. I started doing YouTube, and then I was using the GoPros. GoPros cutting off mid recording. So I'm like, shit. You know what I'm saying? Then I was like, all right, well, I got to figure out what I'm gonna edit on. So I was like, now let me go drop this money on Final Cut Pro. Then I got to go to YouTube, learn how to edit. And then it just started turning into I was doing so much that when it came time to promote it, I didn't have no energy left. You know what I'm saying? Right. Then it's like I put like 40 more episodes out, man, that people wasn't really listening to. So at that point, man, I was, just kind of networking with other podcasters, and I was on another podcast that was here. And my only thing with the podcasters that are here, no disrespect to them, but everybody talking about the same shit. It's relationships.
Yeah.
And that no diss to that, but that's easy. You know what I'm saying? Get on here and talk about what ladies don't do for you and what men don't do for you, and like some reality TV drama shit. That's easy. That's why it's reality TV. That's why it's popping. Real Housewives of this and Ready to Love and all that. It's drama. People love
Real
drama.
Housewives of Saratoga, 2023.
But when you really get on, and you just kind of talking, you know what I'm saying, with a businessman like yourself, entrepreneur, or this person who want to talk sports, or this person who want to talk DIY, or raising your kids or some shit like that, it's kind of like, yeah, we know that's good information, but it's not grabbing me. So it take a little longer to get there. And podcasting, it's a long road, man. Like you got to be able to record 100 episodes that nobody will listen to.
Wow. Because
at that point, you didn't work out all your kinks. You got a groove going. You know what I'm saying? Your equipment is whatever your equipment is it's been working for you. You go out and get a co-host. You know what I'm saying? I brought Rick on about 5 or 6 episodes ago. I said, look, I can't do this shit by myself, nigga. Rick was calling me, talking to me about my shit to the point where I was just like,
come on aboard.
I was like, it sounds like this nigga trying to get on. You know what I'm saying? So I waited to about.
I wasn't. Let's be clear.
I waited to Christmas, and I was like, bro, what you gonna do? And and he been killing this shit ever since. Definitely opening my eyes and really taking the weight off my shoulders for some shit that I may not see. As far as guest graphics, ideas, period. You know what I mean? Fresh ideas. So as far as like the monetizing aspect, man, you got to be up there, man. It's as far as being up there and not being a prior celebrity or some shit like that. Like it's different. If I used to rap in my 20s and I come out and make a podcast, I'm gonna have 100,000, fans off bucks. But when you're nobody, got to grind, bro. That's just like you said. You got to go out here. You got to try to set up a little stand, have some people try your shit. I got to go out here and put a little clip on TikTok here and there. Get in that joint and engage with some folks on Twitter. Start tagging people and shit. So, it's a slow road, man. But I've enjoyed it, man. I've enjoyed the growing pains, and whatever the future success is.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. What y'all drinking tonight, man?
We got some Stranahan's. I don't know if this was my best buy, but
Stranahan's single malt whiskey.
Okay.
It ain't bad. Trini, man. Hey, look, Trini wild, man. We look. I rolled with Trini. Look, I knew Trini when he rolled on the street. And we used to get in his ass because he came out, he wasn't wearing no gear. I used to be the gear Nazi. So I was like, bud, I was like, where your leathers at? We used to be tearing Harry ass up, man. And he was out there, John, with some sneakers on and some wide leg jeans, bro. I'm like, Slim. I'm like, you fall hit this ground, you're gonna be getting the skin graft, man. And then we made our way to the try. I know his whole crew. All of us rolled together. I asked him, be like, hey, you know Boogie? He know me.
Yeah, definitely.
He mad that I sold my bike.
Oh man, he probably would have bought it from you.
Nah. Shit. He got a lot of money in here. I mean, I had BMW.
Okay.
And but that thing was old, man, and it just couldn't. Once you start racing, man, the game changed, the money changed, the fun changed. That's if you ain't got that money to back it up, them track days was different. You know what I'm saying? You just spend your little $250, you go out there have fun. You go race, that shit like $1,250. You know what I'm saying?
On the track?
Yeah.
Trust me, track is life.
You go out that joint, and let's say you're gonna do a race weekend, up at Summit. That's where we was going.
That's on West Virginia.
Yeah. That's our home track. And you go up that joint and say you want to race. Let's say you're gonna do 4 races. That's almost 400 right there. That's just paying for the races. Then you're gonna need your fresh set of tires. You know what I'm saying? Whatever tires you're running. That's 4 something right there. We already at 9. We ain't talk about gas. Whether you running regular gas or you running MR12, we ain't talk about the gas you put in your vehicle to drive. We ain't talk about the food you got to eat. We ain't talk about it if you fall. You know what I'm saying? So that's just minimum. And then you talk about doing that shit once, twice a month.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride out there one time, man, so I can see how it is on the track. I ain't in the race.
I went out there one time.
He came out that joint, seemed out that joint sweating my ass off.
I got the experience of my lifetime.
For real.
I was out there for 5 minutes. We was already trying to take somebody back to the hospital because they didn't crash.
Yeah. My man crashed, man. Yeah, he had to get back.
So I had to help and drive somebody else's vehicle back and get back. Shit, Trini fucked himself up that day. That same day. Was it that same day?
Yeah.
He fucked himself up.
He failed too.
He failed that day too. So it was just like, God damn, like this track life is no bullshit. But it's fun and it's exciting. Like I used to do motocross as a kid.
Okay.
So I didn't do the straight shit. I did the dirt shit. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed driving up there, hitting the track, especially to support my homeboy and his crew and walk around learning shit. You know what I mean? Me, I'm a sponge too. So when it comes to learning shit, like I'm in it. You know what I mean? So like, but I'm a hands-on type person. Like I can't sit. I would prefer to go out, touch my hands, read, talk, have a conversation rather than reading a book.
I got you. Yeah.
Okay, man. Well, look, man, this is a great fucking conversation, man. So we're gonna dress this. We're gonna dress this shit up. We're gonna promote the shit out of it tomorrow, and it's gonna come out Tuesday.
Okay.
6 p.m. Well, the audio will be out Tuesday at midnight, and the YouTube will be a premiere the same Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Okay. Well, send me the details so I can, post it for y'all, post it for me, and let all our listeners listen to it.
Absolutely, man. So we're gonna end this right here, man, and we'll talk to you on the sidebar, man. I'm Rob. This is Rick. Captain's Log podcast and YouTube show, Mr. Dennis Rawls. Oh, real quick, man, go ahead and get the people your social media handles, man, so they can holler at you.
Okay. Personal is at Dennis_Clinton. My personal IG is at Dennis_Clinton. Barbershop IG is at UTP Barber Spa. That's UTP Barber Spa. For the barbecue company, it is at B.E. Company. Once again, that's at B.E. Company. Other than that, man, y'all be able to reach everything, all my other blogs and everything, the Facebooks and everything via from the Instagram account. You ever need some barbecue, let me know, hit me up. Need a fresh cut, hit me up. Want to talk some business ideas, investing, hit me up.
That's what's up.
All right, y'all. Okay, man. All right, y'all. Copping out.